Good morning, guys. I'm WUSA Season 3, Episode 123. And this morning it is 68 degrees, partly cloudy skies. It looks like the clouds just moved out and the clear skies are coming in. And I am on my way early morning. I am heading out to visit a minimum of 5 casinos, play at least 3 blackjack sessions, and really trying to pound it this week, trying to make as much money as possible. These last couple weeks, coming off that Vegas trip, coming off of, foreshadowing the Alaskan trip. I only have one more week of gambling before that, and who knows how that's going to be. I suspect I will make less than $1,000 that week. So trying to make as much money as possible to stay on schedule right now. We'll talk more about the cruise next week. It's a little early to talk about it now, but we're finalizing all our stuff for that. Yesterday and the day before, we had an overnight. It was pretty good. By the time I got home, I was starting to get tired, but I feel like I could still stretch that out a little bit more. I really think that I should get a room Wednesday nights when I do something like that, get at least 4 hours sleep, and then try to push it a little bit longer than I have been. Maybe get at least 3 more sessions in before coming home. So that will be something that remains to be seen. Thursdays I do have more meetings than I did yesterday on a normal basis, so it may or may not be possible, but I'll that's really about it. That's what's going on right now. I'm heading out for the day, and we'll see what happens. I'll be back to update you after my first stop. Alright guys, I am back. So I go into the first casino, and it seems kind of quiet in there. I have a slot tech, I guess, working on a machine nearby. Start checking machines. I notice he keeps staring at me, or looking in my direction at least, and I'm not sure if I'm imagining it or what's going on. So I check the first machine, nothing. Go around the corner, check the next machine. I find a play on that one. I sit down, I find a play at 2 different levels. I play the first one. I think I broke even or lost a couple dollars on that one. Played the second level, had a nice hit on that one. I was ahead $194 for that machine overall. I start walking around looking at other machines, and he's always nearby. Well, then I noticed he was walking the other direction, but it's the same direction that I want to go, so I'm going to be walking that direction. So I kind of stopped and changed my direction to check the same machines, but in a different order, just to be away from him. But no matter what I did, he was nearby. But I don't think there was anything there. I just think I'm being overcautious. So anyway, I didn't find any other plays, so I ended up leaving that place ahead $194. Now, on my way out, I checked a couple machines, and I ran into a guy who's just a big mess and always trying to leech money off people and stuff like that. And I talked to him for a second. I put my earbuds in my ear and told him I was listening to a podcast and took off. So got away from that guy. You know, you got to be really careful, because when you find these half-assed advantage players that are also big-time gamblers and are always broke, they know what you are. And if you're not careful, then these guys will start trying to use that leverage to get you to give them things, or they're going to threaten that they're going to tell. I just stay away from them. And if they come up to me, I say, oh yeah, it's terrible, not doing good, having a bad day. Then I start saying things like, I'm doing the same things they are, basically. I was up 100, but I lost $400 in this stupid machine, and they know that's not an advantage machine, and they kind kind of have left me alone. So I don't know if it's always going to work in all situations, but that's the kind of thing that I've done to get away from some of those people. Anyway, right now I'm back on the road, moving on to the next casino, and I gotta merge real quick before this exit. So I'm going to have a team meeting in about half an hour, and I am still about an hour away from my next casino. The problem is I'm going to have to ask a lot of questions. I don't know how I can test my headset to see how much noise it creates. I think what I may do is just find a place in the half hour, quiet place to do the meeting, and stop and actually do the talking while I'm not moving, so there's less background noise. Although I think these things, the noise canceling on them is really, really good. Worst case, I guess I could say that they're doing some work on my house. I mean, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm allowed to work from home. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna ask those questions and then go into the next casino where we're gonna be playing some blackjack. So that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I'm back. That was not what I expected it to be, for sure. I just expected the status quo for the most part. You know, obviously you have ups and downs, but I didn't expect it to be the way it was. I walk in, look at slots, find one machine, one spin, lose $3 on it. There was nothing else until after I played blackjack. I came back out, found one other machine, played that, and ahead $3 for the session. So plus $3 on the slots. Now blackjack was a whole different story. It wasn't just like one here, one there. It was very intense, very long, very boring. Boring and intense, because the intense part came in because it was frustrating. I sat down at a $50 table, spreading from one hand at $50 to two hands at $300. I won the first hand and then lost half a shoe almost, at which time I switched tables because I had a running minus 19 with 3 decks gone, and went to the other table, started playing there, and continued my losing. And that shoe I won 5 hands on the new shoe. So it was a rough start, and it basically, if you're looking at it like a graph or a chart, a graph, it would go straight down and then stayed flat for about 45 minutes and then started bopping around up and down. But it was a very frustrating position to be in. Another guy came to the table. I had a running minus whatever million, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and sit down. He brought in for $1,500, lost all his money, left frustrated. I continued playing. Every shoe except the last 2 were negative, almost all the way through. I don't want to say all the way through, but almost all the way through. And at my lowest point, I was down 5,700, and then I got some decent counts, and things started turning around, and I was involved for a total of, actually, I was involved for 3,500, so I was down like 33. And things started turning around. I got it to where I had like between 2,000 and 2,500 for quite a while, and then went back to 2,000, back to 1,800, and then had a good run at the end, and finally finished a shoe ahead, $700, spreading from one hand at 50 to two hands at 300. The low for the session was minus 3,300. The high for the session was plus 700. And I played for about an hour and 20 minutes. I think that's what I recorded, an hour and 20 minutes. So let me just verify. Yeah, hour and 20 minutes. So it was a frustrating experience, but it turned out okay in the end. So, you know, can't complain about that as long as it turns out okay. At this point, I'm moving on to another casino. I do have a meeting in an hour and a half. Oh my goodness, that soon. I really wanted to be out of this area by then, but I may have to. It may have to be a long day today. Let me see my calendar. Yeah. I got an hour and a half. You think I can get a session in here and a session somewhere else in that fast? I'm going to say no. Because then the hour meeting, I was going to use that hour meeting to drive to another casino. And they need very little input from me during this meeting, but I kind of want to be available just in case. I don't want to be, it's not like there's 400 people in it and I can just be signed in and have it in my pocket while I play. There's going to be 12 people in the meeting, and although a lot of it is a demo, they may ask questions. So I'm going to say I'm probably not going to be able to play as many sessions as I'd like today. But right now I am moving on to the third casino. We're going to go in, play some blackjack, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, real quick, I just want to say June 24th is the drop dead date for being able to record podcasts on this app. So I need to find something by then. I'll be on my cruise at that time. So hopefully I find something maybe this weekend. I'll mess around with some stuff and see. Otherwise I'm going to have to go the manual route. So letting you go right now. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. So I go into this place. I play a few slots. I'm ahead like 60, 70, maybe $80. I go play some blackjack. I sit down. Same thing as last place. Big drop right away. Give away $1,200-$1,400 right away. And then things level out a little bit and start to go up and down like they normally would. But it's the worst feeling in the world when you spot a casino 1,000 or two right off the bat. Anyway, I was back there, probably played 45 minutes or so, and finally left the session ahead $700. So that's another $700 more there. And then I went and played some more slots, and I found a real good machine, sat down, played it. I got up. I was ahead $404. And 404, what's 404? That's the error you get on your computer when something bad happens. And that's what happens. I found another machine. It was about $3 a spin. Played that one through, ended up losing whatever on it, and ended up ahead 189 on the slots. I lost whatever, 230 on that one, 220. So plus 189 on the slots, plus 700 on the blackjack, and we're moving on. Right now, timing wise, it looks terrible. I've got very little time. I'm going to hop in this place, and I may play some blackjack, but I doubt it. Probably look at the slot machines only, and then probably come back to the car. I may get some food while I'm there also, and then we'll see what happens from there. So if I find absolutely nothing in there, the food doesn't look good, we'll go to a grocery store and buy something to eat. So that's what's going on right now. The dealer at that place was terrible, very slow, counted, like lipped every number, 15, 16, 22. That's how he was the whole time. I'm like, I can add, either say it out loud so I can hear it or don't, but don't do this halfway stuff. It reminds me of like when someone tells you something in a low voice and they're facing away from you, and then they expect you to abide by what they said or to agree to what they said. It's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Look at me and talk to me. So anyway, that was a little bit frustrating with him, but overall ran decent. Trying to think if there was anything unusual that happened. I would say no. So one of the few times that I might be speechless, amazingly. So we're going to move on to another place and win some more money, hopefully. This place has less opportunity. The high limit's not always open. The blackjack is 8 deck lots of times. Hit 17 lots of times, depending on the limit. So if I see any of those tables, we're going to walk away. But we'll take at least one spin through for the slots and go look at the tables and see what we're going to do from there. So I'll come back and report. All right, guys, I'm back. I go into that place, 0 slots available. I go to the blackjack area, 0 blackjack available. I go to the high limit area, 1 blackjack table in the middle of a shoe, nobody around, and at this place they will not spread the cards. So I'm like, okay, so I've got a limited amount of time. Do I wait for someone to come, play a shoe, and then get in on the next shoe, or do I just get out of there? And I decided just to get out of there. I did go get some food, and let's go through it. What did you eat today, MW? Had a little bit of pizza, pepperoni pizza, and not too exciting, but it was good. The crust was nice and crunchy, so that's all good. And then, what did you tip today, MW? And you know, I got myself into a deep hole, and I pulled myself out of it. I was very grateful to be out of it. So how much did I tip today? Between the 2 tables that I played so far, $0. That's right, my friends, $0. I'm starting a movement here, the $0 movement. It's a challenge. Can you tip less than $5 in a day? I don't believe you. Prove it to me. Prove to me that you can tip 0 and still have people on your side. There's no need to give money away. So the food I just got was $8, and if I had tipped the dealer a quarter, that would have been almost 3 days of food, 2.5 days of food. If I had tipped him $10, that would have been my whole meal. Why am I buying the dealer's dinner? Why am I buying the dealer's family's lunch when I could buy my own or my family's? When I leave and I see the dealer on the street, would I just hand him $25? Would I hand him $10? Heck no, I wouldn't. What did the dealer do for me? At least the waitress brings me water, right? So I'll tip a waitress. But what did the dealer do for me? They stood where they're supposed to stand, and they flipped over the cards they're supposed to flip over. And if I lose everything I have, they're going to be like, whatever, and they go back about their business. They don't care about me. Why do I care, right? Anyway, so right now I am heading over to a grocery store real quick. If these guys would get out of my way, I could make it in time. And I am going to get some fresh vegetables, and I'm going to be eating those in the car as I'm driving. And I have a meeting starting in 15 minutes. I'm about 5 minutes away from this grocery store. I'm going to run in, grab some vegetables, and get out of there and get on to the meeting. And I also need some gas. I've got about 15 miles range. So once I get the meeting going and flowing, then I will stop for gas and just have them on mute. Right now I am stuck in traffic. Hopefully I can make it to this grocery store in time and out in time. Let's go, baby, let's go. What is happening up here? I'm one light away, and it's backed up all the way to my light, and I've got a red light and cars the other way trying to jam themselves in front of us. Man. Come on, green light. There's my 15-minute alert. 15 minutes till my meeting. Come on. Oh my gosh. What is going on? I mean, I've seen funerals that move faster than this. Let's go. All right. I'm going to let you go. I'll be back. Oh man, what is this? All right. Jeez. Just got out of the next casino. What is this mess? Highway backed up every day. Don't people know how to drive? Guys, let me just explain here where we are. It is sunny, 82 degrees outside, okay? Why are there accidents, backed up traffic? What is going on? Pay attention, people. Pay attention. I mean, when it's snowing, we can say it was snowing. When it was raining, we can say it was raining. It is a sunny day. What is happening here? Right now, I'm doing 25 on the highway. I've got hundreds of miles to cover here. All right. Before I went into that place, my wife called me and said that one of my kids, God bless them all, one of my kids went around the neighborhood about a week or two ago and put out flyers that she's having a party at the house, like outside the house. And then she saw that the timing was bad, and she went back and gave them new papers with different date on them, and today's the day. Supposedly we're having a party outside our house, but my wife is afraid that nobody's going to show up because a lot of the neighborhood right now is on vacation, as they should be. So everyone was supposed to bring something to make it into a good party. So my wife just sent me a list of things that I need to go get from a grocery store. Okay. problem number one. If I go straight home right now, I'm going to be there half an hour after the party starts. Problem number two, I'm doing 6 miles an hour on the highway now, hours away from home. So we'll see what happens. I went into that casino and took a quick look at everything. There were a couple machines that I couldn't check, and I think I only found one machine that was in range. I had $2 a spin. It was good for 2 spins, and that was going to be it. I played the 2 spins, and I made a $26 profit, and that's it. That's all I could do there. So at this point, does it make sense for me to call home and say, you go get this stuff because I can't make it in time? Do I go on to another casino? Do I go home? So I gotta get these things figured out. So I don't know. I think for the day today, I'm up like 1,600 or so. So not a bad day. A couple days ago, very good. Yesterday, very good. So overall, we're moving in the right direction. I still feel like if I'm not out there killing it, then I'm wasting time. But I got to get that balance in life, you know. I know I'm always educating myself. I'm always trying to do all the right things. And I guess that's my biggest downfall, is always wanting to be doing more and not living it up enough, if you know what I mean. I've been to Vegas, 4 or 5 times in the last 2 years. Never once went to a show. Went out to a couple dinners, that was it. Other than that, I had room service bring food, and basically I figured out what time I would be in the room, called ahead, scheduled room service so I could just go up, meet room service right when they showed up, and eat and get out of there and get back to my work. So next time we go to Vegas, we're going to try to live it up a little bit. Maybe actually have a drink. I haven't even had a drink of alcohol since I've been to Vegas in 4 or 5 visits. So anyway, right now things are up in the air. I'm heading toward home, trying to figure out what to do. Traffic is still pretty bad here, doing 20 miles an hour. Hopefully it doesn't last much longer. Let me, I have a map. I could just look. Looks like 3 more minutes of this and it'll clear up. So hopefully that's okay. And I'll figure out if I'm going to call home and reschedule things to where she goes instead of me. And anyway, we'll figure it out. Right now, I'm going to let you go. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So getting close to home right now. Just looking back, and I feel like we did a fairly good job. I give myself probably a B for this week. It doesn't have to do with how much money was made, but how things were played out, efficiency. I feel like the casino that I drove to way off in the middle of nowhere wasn't really worth it. Wasted 4 hours round trip on that, and then only made about $400 profit there. Um, some people might say it's okay, but if I'm going to do that, I need to plan ahead and do things differently. Although that casino has a lot of different things available, different options to make money, I'm a little worried about playing there these days. Just because I know people now who have been kicked out of there, multiple people, some just from blackjack, some completely kicked out. So I worry about that. I think I got the Wednesday, Thursday. I can add in a room on Wednesday nights into Thursday. I feel like that would make me as efficient as possible. Get about 3 or 4 hours sleep instead of 2 hours in the car, get 3 or 4 in a bed, and then get a couple more sessions in and see how that goes. I'm just trying to step back and analyze everything. This weekend, today's Friday, so this weekend I'll be looking at cars. I have an idea of what I want. But then I'm thinking, let's say I buy one tomorrow, am I going to drive it? Do I really want to drive a new car on a 7 or 8 hour round trip somewhere and just start piling miles onto it, driving it in bad neighborhoods and into casinos are nasty and get scratched up and things like that? I don't know that I do. So, I'm still kind of weighing it out. And I was thinking going forward to have all my cars in my wife's name, just because license plate readers and things like that. Not only just the license plate reader part, because that's not a big deal because they'll be looking out for that plate, but like Indian casinos have their own police, so they have access, most likely, to motor vehicle records, and so they're going to know your name. So if I put it in my wife's name, then who are they going to ban? So that might be helpful. They might put you down as an unknown person with a picture. Big deal. Who's going to look in OSN at every single picture looking for you? So I think that's what I'm going to do when I do buy one. I'm thinking about, do I want to pay cash? Do I want to make payments? And I feel like when I looked at the website, it looks like the interest rate's like 2.9. You really can't beat that. So let's say the car is going to be $30,000. I take $30,000. You put in a 5% CD, pay them 2.9, and make 3% profit, which is what? It's not much if you do it for 3 years. Let's say you can do it for 4 years, it'd be like $1,200. It's going to be depreciating though. Let's say $700. I don't know. Is that worth it? I don't know. So just going to weigh things out like that. How much of a down payment? Pay it all up front. I kind of feel like, although you might make that $700 over 4 years, it's just a hassle unless you set up auto pay and all that. And then I don't know. We'll see. I may put like $9,000 down in cash and then do payments. And I'm even looking at leases. So here's a little hack for you, and you need to check your lease information for this. But in the past, I have leased a car from Honda with the intent of buying the car. So you're like, well, why would you lease it then? Well, because let's say the lease over the 2 years, let's say the lease is $10,000, okay? It's not, but let's just pretend $10,000. If you put down $9,000 on that lease, then your payments are going to be 2 years, $1,000 spread out over 2 years. So $1,000 spread out over 2 years could be like what? Even with tax, $50 or less. So what happens is with the lease company, you can extend the lease for up to 2 years 2 times. But the rate that you pay for those next 2 years are the same that you've been paying. So in effect, you can get a car for 6 years for that $10,000 down, that $9,000 down, plus $1,000 plus $1,000, $11,000 for 6 years to have a car. And after that, whatever happens, you're going to buy it for whatever the value is, or the leftover amount. You don't know what's going to happen. You can get into a car accident, the insurance pays it, or you could pay the rest of it. Nobody knows what's going to happen, So that's another consideration. So all kinds of different things swirling right now. I do have a lot of stuff to do for work over the weekend, so I need to have at least 4 or 6 hours over the weekend just to catch up on that stuff, to look like a hero on Monday, which everybody knows I already am, but just to show the people at work how big of a hero I am. And in the next month or so, we're expecting all our annual reviews to be completed by the managers and see what kind of raise that we get. Probably, I don't know, the company I work for is pretty generous, so they might look at inflation actually and be reasonable, give you 4 or 5%. But shoot, most of these companies I worked for in the past give you just like this stupid 2% raise, which is like, it's never good. Even in great economic environments, the inflation's going up by 1.2, 1.8%. Big deal, 2%. That's not giving me a raise. So we'll see what's going to happen there. I gotta find the title for my old car and take it to the guy Monday. If not, then my wife and I need to go to the motor vehicles place and get the title and take it over there and get my check, deposit that in the bank as soon as possible. What else? I have a chance to buy a Cushman, like a what do you call it? Like a golf cart type thing. My wife's always wanted one of those, but I don't know. It seems like a waste of money, but I think I can get it for about half off. So I'm going to consider that as well. But considering it maybe just to hold on to it for 6 months or so, and then maybe in the spring sell it and make a profit. I don't know. Again, I consider that stuff too. And then a lot of stuff to do around the house. One of my boys was using the mower. He left the key in there. He left it turned, so the battery's dead for the 5th time on a brand new mower. So I got to jump that for him as soon as I get home. Oh, I forgot to go to the store. Shoot. Forgot to go to the store. I guess let me turn right here. So you guys were talking to me. You threw me off. It's all your fault. No outlet. That's nice. So turn around right here. Wait for the light. Yeah, I know. You're going the wrong way. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to let it go at that. So if you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.